as we wind down 2022 with our favorite films and shows, right now I can tell you for the top three, here's what I got. Everything Everywhere All at Once is still my number one. Top Gun Maverick, and today we're going to be talking about my number three. Now, Rian Johnson is a director that I am very fond of. I've loved his movies from Brick to Looper to The Brothers Bloom, the very divisive The Last Jedi, the 2019 movie, which is Knives Out, which is the first installment to the movie that came out now, Glass Onion. Let's talk for a minute. In 2019, director Rian Johnson introduced us to the character of Investigator Benoit Blanc, portrayed by Daniel Craig. Investigator Blanc was put amongst a very diverse cast of characters in a very strange set of circumstances. A lot hasn't changed with Glass Onion. We still have Benoit Blanc. We have his quirky style, but we're in a new setting, new location. Glass Onion was both filmed in and the story takes place in Greece. And Rian Johnson is back along with a whole new cast of characters that are pretty bizarre in their own ways. And it's the same type of thing where what made Knives Out work so wonderfully is that while you are there to solve a mystery, the movie makes fun of everything. Everything that's happening culturally now, everything that's in the news, everything that's in tech. It's just one of those things where this director, I really appreciate how he likes to not take everything so seriously and make fun of everything. So let's dive right in with the pros of this movie. First of all, the directing. Rian Johnson, I'm still a fan. You know how to tell a good story, how to craft a good mystery. Very funny for sure. And you know how to keep people guessing. I couldn't tell which direction this story was going, and it was anything if predictable, and I really appreciated that. Shout out to the cast. Daniel Craig, I actually liked his take here on Benoit Blanc even more than Knives Out. Also, two big shout outs. One to Edward Norton playing the perfect douchebag, and Janelle Monae. She is fantastic in this movie. I don't want to say more than that, but all these people in it, and of course, I'm not going to ignore Dave Bautista, Kate Hudson. Everyone who was in this did a wonderful job. And one other thing I wanted to mention too is that Nathan Johnson, who is the cousin of director Rian Johnson, composed the soundtrack for this movie. He did also the soundtrack for Knives Out. And this one is very different, but it still works to help add to the atmosphere of a mystery with a pulse. Okay, and now let's get into some of the cons of this movie. And I'll be honest, this is a bit of a stretch for me because I really liked the movie. But I will say this. First of all, at a 2-hour and 20-minute running time, it's not terrible, but it still, I don't know if it needed to be that long. First thing. The second thing, and this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but okay, I get that Netflix, you bought the rights to 2 Knives Out movies after the original for $470 million. So 2022 we have this one, and then there will be another one in 2023. But you need to allow this movie to have a little bit more of a longer running time in the theater. And it's not going to hurt your business at all. This movie, I saw it during the Thanksgiving 1-week run in the movie theater, but I want the chance for everybody else to be able to see it in the theater too. I'm glad you're all going to be able to see it on Netflix at home, that you have at least access to it. But I think you're being denied the best experience. I know that makes me sound like a snob, so be it. And there's a few other things I just want to briefly mention. First of all, the score. I give it a 9 out of 10. This movie was thoroughly entertaining. And full disclosure, it was the movie that I was waiting for this year. I know there's Avatar. I'm still curious to see that one. I know there's been Top Gun Maverick and Everything Everywhere All at Once, which has been getting a lot of hype as well. It lived up to it. This movie, though, was phenomenal. It was entertaining. It delivered on what it promised, which was a fun mystery where you're going to get in some good laughs as well. Another thing I want to mention is that I have started doing audience quick takes, so when I go see some of these films that we're going to talk on the podcast about, I do want to see what audience members are going to say. So in this case, here's a quick take from an audience member named Adam. Adam, if you're out there listening, thank you. I appreciate your review on this film. Just got out of Glass Onion, and
I'm Adam.
Adam, what would you give Glass Onion out of a 10?
Probably 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
It was quite good, yeah.
Okay, and what was the thing that you really liked from the movie?
Well, without giving too many spoilers, about the halfway point, there is a tremendous reframing of the entire movie thus far that turns the whole thing on its head and hikes up the stakes, and it's wonderful.
And if you had to give it a con, what would you say? Like one knock, one negative thing, if there is something you didn't like about it.
I think some of the characters could have been a little bit more compelling, but, you know, as they were still pretty good. It's just that I think there could have been another layer to them, no pun intended.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And there you have it. That is Glass Onion. Glass Onion is going to be available on Netflix starting on December 23rd. I do hope you check it out. Netflix, please do let it have additional running time in the theater. And check out this movie. I can't wait to see what you all think about it. Thanks for listening.